Galnet News Digest, 26th of July 3304. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, Hieronymous detained in Guardian Supremacy scandal. Federal agitators target Rochester Family. Notes from the Complaints Department. Hieronymous detained in Guardian Supremacy scandal. Supporters of the Church of Eternal Void have started a public campaign to free their leader, Cardinal Hieronymous, following his arrest on public order offences this week. The Church of Eternal Void has been declared illegal due to its actions to uphold the civilised values of the Guardians in the face of unprovoked personal beliefs on the part of the Thargoid-loving deviants of the Far God cult. The Far God cultists have been widely reviled for being unwilling to fight back when attacked by adherents of the Way of the Eternal Void. Believing as they do that their God will soon become manifest, heralded by the arrival of the Thargoids, and that humanity will be largely wiped from the face of the galaxy in the face of his righteous anger, the Far God cultists believe that fighting other humans is a bit pointless. By contrast, the Church of Eternal Void considers smashing the windows of Far God cultists and burning down Far God chapels to be a valid form of religious expression, something that now puts them at odds with civil authorities, who appear to believe that damaging property even in the worthiest of causes is something that shouldn't be encouraged, and have consequently arrested a large part of the pro-Guardian Church hierarchy. Juanita Bishop, an anti-Far God campaigner and chairperson of the Free Hieronymous campaign, said it was disgusting that enemy-worshipping traitors should be encouraged by the authorities when Hieronymous is locked up on the flimsy pretext that he committed a series of criminal offences, encouraged others to commit crimes, and that he leads an outlawed organisation. A spokesperson for the Galactic Interfaith Commune, Dr. Jamila Griffin, tried to make an unconvincing argument that if all the Far God cult is doing is worshipping their Far God, then no matter how weird their beliefs are, they're not actually doing anything wrong. But the Free Hieronymous campaign is having none of this liberal claptrap, and has vowed that the struggle for Guardian supremacy will continue, and that if and when Hieronymous is released, there will be rivers of blood flowing through the doors of the Far God chapels. Federal agitators target Rochester Family. Concerns surrounding the implications of the forthcoming wedding of Ambassador Jordan Rochester to Imperial Fluffyhead Aisling Duval have come to a head this week, with Rochester's family besieged on all sides. Congresswoman Isolde Rochester, who also happens to be Jordan's mother, has been asked a series of questions in the House about the potential for federal loss of influence, or even territory, as a consequence of the marriage. She's also been questioned about whether the Federal Navy will gain the right to use prismatic shields. Not answering the questions directly, Congresswoman Rochester criticised Conservative thinking, and called upon Congress to welcome the new era of cooperation that will strengthen both the Federation and the House of Duval. Meanwhile, teenage student Callie Rochester, who's studying at Olympic Village on Mars, and is the daughter of Jordan's elder brother Jupiter, is reported to have had anti-imperial slogans shouted at her in college. However, Jupiter Rochester is more likely to be concerned at the dramatic slide in the stock price of Core Dynamics, which has lost nearly 1/5 of its value in the past fortnight. The elder Rochester is a senior executive in the spaceship manufacturer, which supplies the majority of the Federal fleet. Investors are said to be concerned that an Imperial connection could compromise faith in Core Dynamics' integrity, which may in turn lead to the loss of military contracts. Core Dynamics received criticism 5 years ago for allowing Gutamaya to develop a variant of the Eagle Interceptor, a mistake which has not been repeated since. The marriage between Federal Ambassador Rochester and would-be Imperial Emperor, Aisling Duval, takes place on Emerald in Semias, on Saturday the 25th of August. It's widely believed that both Empire and Federation will make a gesture of friendship towards independent commanders in celebration of the happy event, but no details have yet been announced. Notes from the Complaints Department. Galnet News has this week gained exclusive access to a selection of complaints from the future that allegedly fell through a small, but conveniently placed, time paradox vortex. The complaints appear to be addressed to the Pilots Federation. Here's a selection of the sorts of issues that commanders may be facing in a few years' time. New water worlds are so boring. There's nothing to see. They're just airless worlds with liquids. Where's the Kraken? None of the stations have enough commodities to fill my Panther Clipper. The coffee from the machine on the crate has a slightly bitter aftertaste. Please invest in some proper coffee. I finally decided to try out the new Galactic Hyperdrive. I sold my fuel scoop back on Sol for that extra jump range, expecting to refuel once in Andromeda. But guess what? There are no stations in Andromeda, and now I'm stranded. Note to fellow explorers. Why would you only tag the supermassive black hole at the centre of each galaxy? For the love of data, don't be lazy. Scan the whole darned galaxy. I boosted out of the mail slot in my Panther Clipper, and it still didn't break the speed limit. Don't even get me started on the immersion-breaking hot cocoa synthesis. I mean, really. How can 2 iron and 1 nickel make cocoa? Help! My Kraken ate my ship. I demand a refund. It's great to be able to walk around ships, but I still can't interact with my new Thargoid wife. That's it. I've had enough. I upgraded my Beluga Mark III with the new Guardian Improbability Drive, and what did I end up with? A bowl of petunias. My cockpit cat just ripped the skirt off my Princess Aisling bobblehead, and now she's naked. Please fix... Never mind. And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.